Right, welcome back to the channel everyone. So we'll start today's video with a little pop quiz, test your military knowledge. What was the tank that was shown in the opening shots of the video today? And I'm going to say first and foremost, it's not a BMW GS Adventure, so don't anybody write that. It's not that kind of tank. I will give you some clues however. Soviet design, mid-1940s, 100,000 of them were made, very famous for its front sloped armour. Those diesel tanks on the side are also quite iconic. Grab rails for the infantry to hold on to. Gun was upgraded midway through the war. Rear mounted engine, diesel powered, wide tracks. If you know, write it down. If you know the main gun on that particular tank, write it down. You won't win anything, but you will win the internet. But as I was looking at this tank, it did occur to me that it's actually quite sad, isn't it? That 85 years ago, we would have considered the people riding in that tank, fighting and dying in that tank, as friends, colleagues, comrades, brothers in arms. And now the way the world's gone, we're kind of trained to hate everybody, hate the people you don't know. And it even goes as far as to hate on motorcycles from where they're manufactured. It's just a shame, isn't it? So I'm just going to make a point in this video just to say, try and be a bit open-minded about things, about everything actually. Don't believe everything you read in the news. And also, these bikes are fantastic bikes. I really get on with them. And so we're going to keep showing them on this channel. Now, what is the plan for today? I'm going to go on a little adventure. We're going to go up to the Mach loop. Now, this is also a little bit military related, so if you are interested in that kind of thing, you're probably going to enjoy today's video actually. I'm going to go up to the Mach loop. It's basically a circuit through the mountains of northern Snowdonia that the RAF and other Allied air forces practice low-level flying. Kind of going back to tanks, the idea is to fly low under the radar and knock out as many enemy tanks as you can, and so obviously you need to practice that skill somewhere, and so these pilots practice up in the Mach loop. Now it's actually, I always thought it was called the Mach loop because these were jets that exceeded Mach 1 or 670 miles an hour, but it's actually not even that clever. It's just called the Mach loop because it goes past McKinley, called Mach for short, and that's why. So I'm going to go up there and I'm going to try my best to get some shots of planes flying past. Now, I don't know whether this is going to work. I'm not an expert photographer or videographer. I'm just an amateur with a camera. But I've seen where the guys climb up the mountain, you can sort of stand on the side and then watch the plane comes past. I mean, will it work? I do not have a clue, but I'm going to go up there and try and take some photos and videos of these planes when they fly past. Maybe they'll have a day off today in the airbase drinking tea and I won't get anything, but that's what we're going to try and do. Also, we're going to go over the Voge a little bit as well. I'm going to try and do a big trip today on the Voge, get even more of a feel for it so I can speak confidently about the Voge really going forward. I'll have done enough miles on it really to almost have an owner's experience. Okay, I haven't serviced it or anything, but I've done so many miles, all the little quirks and niggles will become apparent to me. And all of the cool little features and benefits are going to be shown as well. So, if you're interested in that kind of thing, stay tuned and yeah, let's get going. Right, before we set off, let me just turn the bike on. I'll just show you the Voge app. It's called Voge Global. You can download it if you've got a Voge. So if I turn the bike on and the Bluetooth is active on my phone, this little spinning icon should detect the bike. There you go, Bluetooth connection successful. It tells me the mileage of my bike and I've got my speed, gear indicator, trip distance, records all the trips you've been on, elevation, that kind of thing. And if you go onto navigation, which is the really clever bit, and we select McKinley, where we're going today, it's got two routes. I'm going to choose the recommended one. It's upside down for some reason. Oh, there you go. So we're going from the Midlands up into North Wales. Press start navigation. Hopefully you can still see that. Start navigation. And then what happens here is, you see I've got a little indicator appear on the dash. So you've actually got turn-by-turn navigation, a little bit like Beeline Moto built into the colour LCD. So I thought that was really neat. You can put this phone away now. You can actually lock the screen and it'll still work because I've tested it, but I'm just going to pop the phone away and then I don't need anything on the handlebars, so I can just rely on this little thing here, which is a lot less obtrusive, I think, than having a screen here. Right, brilliant, sun's coming out. We can get on our way. That's kind of it. I mean, look, it is pretty accurate. And off we go. When have you ever seen a completely red road? I mean, do you think they just ran out of black tarmac? It's a little bit weird, isn't it? Or is that just me? Alright guys, well the GoPro 3.5mm jack seemed to pop out during this section, so I've got absolute garbage for audio. So I'll just update you. We've popped into Land, and it's actually on a historic black and white trail that they set up in Herefordshire, just outside Leominster. So if you do want to come to this county and follow the trail, it will take you on a zigzag course through these little picturesque, quaint villages. Now, Land's quite interesting because it floods every single year. I'm sure if you live there, you don't find it interesting. But if you're visiting and you come in the winter months, often the whole village will be shut because the River Arrow overspills its banks. Oh, there's an AA phone box there. You don't often see those on the left. Overspills its banks, and this whole section is about 1.5 meters underwater. And so as I go up the road here, you'll see the point where I took a thumbnail for the Meteor 350 video, and I showed I couldn't get any further down the road because it was totally flooded. As we proceed here on the left, you can see these historic black and white houses, very, very quaint, very cutesy, very typical English countryside. We've got some red brick buildings as well because we're obviously near Worcester and Kidderminster and that region. We've got some thatched cottages there on the left. Again, black and white thatching. Thatching is actually made out of river reed, which I learned recently. It's not hay. It's waterproof. Properties of river reed make it suitable for making roofs. As we pull out of the village here, you'll be able to see in a minute the area which is basically underwater. So as that whole section there from the river up to about here is usually underwater during the flood season. Guys, let me know what you think about this kind of voiceover recording. I mean, I'm just doing it now because I'm in a pinch and my audio's given up. But is this something you think would add value to the content? If you think it's good or cheesy or you're sick of my voice already, just let me know in the comments. Just be interested to get your views on it. Right, after riding for about 2 hours, I was beginning to get really hungry and fatigued. It wasn't looking good, given that we've got a whole day ahead of us, so I popped into the water gardens, which I'd recommend going to on the A44 for a spot of breakfast.
Hello.
Hi.
Can I help you?
Have you got something? Are you trying to say something?
Yeah. Can I help you with anything?
Oh right, yeah. I'm here for the cafe.
Oh, okay. To visit.
To have some food, yeah.
It doesn't open till 11.
Okay.
You're an hour early.
It says open on the sign. Someone's put a sign out.
No, it's open from such and such a date and such a time. Anyway, he's not even here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 11 o'clock is when he opens.
Okay.
Sorry.
Don't worry, yeah.
You're welcome to wait around, don't get me wrong, but it will be, he will get here in about half an hour.
Yeah.
But obviously if you want a coffee or tea, he's got to heat it all up and all that sort of stuff.
I might come through on the way back.
Okay.
Because I do like visiting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do. I mean, I wasn't trying to get rid of you. I just wanted you to
Yeah, fair enough.
Aware that he will be some time before he's even here.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right. I'll see you on the way back.
On the way back. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stop briefly to have a look at this church in Kington. Just gonna have a little look inside if it's open. Right, well that was the church at Kington. Felt a little bit disrespectful to do a sort of a vlog thingy-majiggy inside the church. So I'll just reflect as I leave that it was very, very peaceful and I enjoyed it a lot. Beautiful place. Something I mean to do more often actually is just stop and have a look at the churches, because there's so many of them about and they are amazing buildings. Right, we're going to head onwards into Wales, and yeah, I'll let you know when we get some breakfast. Right, I've noticed I got a little bit low pressure, so I got 2.2 at the front, 2.6 at the rear. That's tyre pressure monitoring. So I'm just going to top up a little bit and look away, because somebody told me off before about showing my card on the screen.
Please present your card or your mobile phone.
Right, here we see the result of Sean not investing in any GoPro camera since the Hero 7. Things just randomly don't work, and this is the case here. So what we're doing, filling the tyre pressures up to about 2.8 bar. The Voge outputs it in bar, not PSI. And you see with this right angled valve, and it's a tubeless tyre, it's really easy to just pop that hose on. If I was to have to wangle that thing in amongst the spokes, it's such a pain just to do a simple job like inflating your tyre. And so a little detail like that I really appreciate, and so that's a nice little mark for Voge there. Easy access to the valves. Right, that is the famous Crossgates Biker Cafe, as you can see by the guy turning up there. And it's kind of nice because you can actually sit in the cafe and have your food and you see your bike up through the window, so you don't even have to worry about your bike. Just sort of sits there in full view, and there's loads of other bikers around. Kind of nice. Food was good. And if you're coming up this way, then I definitely recommend going there. It's not fancy, just proper good breakfasts, but it's quite affordable. I think I had a breakfast and a drink vegetarian breakfast, obviously. But it was $7.70. I mean, where would you get that in England? Amazing. At last we have some sun. Right guys, back on topic with the Voge. Obviously I've been riding this bike now for 600 miles. So I feel like I'm kind of in a good position now to start talking about it and recommending it. You do have to ride a bike a lot to get to know the little, as I said earlier, the little kind of quirks of it. The usual story that reviewers put up of these type of bikes is, oh, it's surprisingly good value, can you trust the Chinese bike, is the parts supply going to be there, all this stuff. And that is all relevant and fair enough. I mean, that's the angle some people choose to go on it. But having ridden this bike a lot now, I want to go into sort of like the details, and I'm trying to include the details in this video that I think make it actually a special bike in its own regard. Obviously we know that Voge is value for money, but that's not really news to anybody, is it? So I figured, you know, let's just try and like get really under the skin of this bike. Look at that little police station. Paris police. Right, we make our way into Raeda, and you'll see here we got crossroads. We can go straight on to the Elan Valley, which is really nice, and you can go left, which is down to Bulf Wells, which again is lovely. You go sort of south mid Wales down towards Brecon and then back right at Abergavenny, and you do a big loop back to the Midlands. Or as we're going, you can go right and you're going up towards Llangwrig, Aberystwyth, and then we'll eventually get up to McKinley. Wow, look at that old car. But the sun's come out. Let's get around the corner. Okay, so we're now in Snowdonia. You can see on the left hand side the terrain starting to build. Now we're going up this valley, and at the very top you can see a sort of spit of land that stretches down the mountain. There's a flat area on that. Now that is called Corris Corner, and that's where you can climb up and sit in this outcrop of land and watch the jets go past. So the jets are going to come over the top here and roar down this valley towards where we are. And the idea is you get a good view of them in either direction. It gives you a little bit of time, a little bit of warning to get ready. And then they will... Oh, talking of coming past, look at this truck. I was obviously going too slow for him. But yeah, the jets will go past here, down this valley. This is part of the Mach loop. Right. Thanks.
Thanks.
That's okay. Thanks. Cheers, mate. Thanks. Yeah, really windy now, but I'm up halfway up the hill. So I don't know whether they're going to come from that direction or back down the valley that direction. bit. So there are people all the way at the top, and also people down there as well. But let's see. Right, yeah, I've been up here half an hour now, nothing happening of yet. So I'm just gonna have some food and just wait, I think. I've practiced trying to film some motorcycles going past and I can't even film that, so goodness knows what's gonna happen when an actual plane comes past it. It's 900 miles an hour. Right, I've been up here an hour now and there's no activity. Some people walked past and said that 2 American planes and a Hawk flew past about 2.5 hours ago. So, looks like I missed them for today. But at least I kind of know what to do next time I come up here. I think, like those people down there, I'm just going to bring a chair and a thing of tea and be a little bit more prepared. But unfortunately, no planes today, so I'm going to head back down the mountain. Right, I'm headed down. I just saw a Learjet fly over, which is better than nothing. And I did try and film it, but I kind of messed up, the camera glitched. So that didn't even work. There you go, we're not totally empty-handed, heading down now. Hello.
Is there a more beautiful place in the world?
I don't think so. I've only just found this today and I'm amazed.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
It's as if somebody painted it.
Yes, yeah. With the sun shining from behind.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's like this. I mean, I live here, but you know, I see it at all seasons. You know, And it is absolutely fabulous.
Where do you live, out of
I
interest?
live at the campsite at the far end there,
Oh, wow.
just this side of the car park.
Right, guys, well, we didn't see any planes, but does it matter? I've just been looking at this view. I was speaking to this campsite owner who walked past, and she was just stopping and taking in the environment. And she's probably lived here 40 years, and probably every time she walks past and looks up at the view, it still blows you away. I can't even really look at the camera because I'm too busy just admiring it all. It's spectacular. Another little thing she said, which was insight for me, is that this area, the south of Snowdonia, is quieter. I shouldn't tell anyone, she said not to say. But, but the south of Snowdonia, she was saying, is quieter, more peaceful than the sort of north where Snowdon actually is, because that's where all the tourists go. So I think I've stumbled upon a little bit of a hidden gem. The Voge, absolutely brilliant. One of my last trips with the Voge, so she'll be missed. It's just been a fantastic bike that has done everything that's asked of it. It's just comfortable, performs enough for the road, very easy to ride. Got some nice little trick bits like the valves and the turn-by-turn navigation. You got crash protection on there as well, quite substantial. And I just really like the beefed up 500cc parallel twin. It's just enough for the road. And I think if you started to go 80, 85, you probably get some buzz, it'd probably be a little bit strained. But for 60 in 6th gear, it's easy. It's doing about 6,000, 5,000 RPM. Big old fuel tank on there. I don't have mile per gallon measurements for this bike, but I do for my bike, which I showed in the review video. We're probably talking 60 or 70 mpg. Yeah. I'm just going to end the video there, guys, and take in the view. Maybe save for a few extra seconds and just have a look yourself, because it's pretty amazing.
I wanted something that was a bit more capable off-road,
Okay.
because the Voge is brilliant on tarmac but absolutely lethal on gravel and stuff. So yeah, and beamers are too expensive.
Yeah, if you don't use all the technology and gubbins on there, why have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are £6,000 with full aluminium luggage. It's the 500cc engine. I'm borrowing this to make a video about it. I don't actually own the bike, but
Okay.
I have done 700 miles on it now, so
Okay.
I'm enjoying it, yeah. It's got turn-by-turn navigation if you sync it with your phone.
That's
But-
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, this is actually quite nice as well. See,
All right, yeah.
without any tools. I mean, it doesn't go up and down
Yeah.
much, but it's a little bit.
It'll make a difference. Yeah. Fully loaded for a month. I put it on a weighbridge in Norway. It was 435 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually went up to Norway on the old version of this, which I owned. I didn't
Oh.
go as far as North Cape because I only had 10 days off work. So I went
Yeah.
round the fjords, and all the luggage and stuff. You can make a light bike heavy by putting your tent and everything on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, I tend to stay in I'm booking.com on the phone. You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
I tend to stay in those these days. One of the 800 beamers or 850 beamers.
Well,
it
funny
looks
you
quite
mentioned
similar.
that, because this is the 525. It's a 500cc engine.
Yeah. It's a inline twin.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's made by Lonsin in China.
Yeah,
But they
yeah,
make
yeah.
the BMW
They make all
engines.
sorts, don't
They
Yeah.
make all sorts. They're launching at the end of this month the Voge 900, which is going to be interesting. And hopefully I'll get to ride that, because that one is more like
Yeah.
a proper bike. But it's £9,000.
Yeah.
So this is 6. That's kind of easy enough to justify. But if it's 9, it's got to have everything
Yes,
together, I
yeah.
think. Because you're starting to get up there.
There's competition then, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
I mean, it's. I was looking at Enfields at 5 or 6 grand,
Yeah.
and you see a lot of them about.
Yeah, yeah.
You
people
just
buy
got-
them off the cuff because
Yeah,
they're so
you
little
just got
money.
to have a lot of time. haven't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.